All right, here we go. Action.
Bam!
Yeah.
Guys, welcome to episode 5? Episode 5 of Business in the Front podcast. We have our established and honorary guest, Don Frittelli. What's going on?
Thank you, man. Excited to be here.
Yeah.
This is great. Can I just say that the name, well done. Well done on the name.
It wasn't my idea.
Because I saw the first one and I was like, oh, you didn't have a name yet. And then I think I saw something on social media. Business in the Front. Dude,
Business in the Front.
great job.
Thank you. It was crowdsourced.
Nice.
Yeah. Marissa McLaughlin, shout out to you over at KW. She thought of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that wins.
It works.
That wins.
It's good stuff.
Thanks. Thank you.
Wish my hair still looked like that.
You could probably do it. You could probably do it.
Maybe I was younger.
You just got to get through that awkward phase.
It's good stuff. I did have the dad stash for a while, good 6 months. Loved
Yeah.
it. Wife was into it. I liked it. It was good. That's all that matters, right?
Just phased out. It just wasn't time anymore.
No, it wasn't time. I had to get rid of it.
That's fair. It comes in waves. I've been rocking the stash for like a year.
Dude, it's great.
Thanks.
Well done.
Thanks. Yeah. I'm a hairy guy. Yeah, but let's talk about you.
Yeah.
All right. So we met through real estate. I think we met at a settlement, right?
100%.
Yeah. So you were
100%.
the listing agent on a deal a couple years ago when we first met. And then you'd reach back out to me to like just connect further. And we've been in touch ever since. And I've loved your content and your like very obvious care for the community.
Appreciate that.
And so it was a no-brainer to try to have you on.
I think that I probably reached out to you shortly after. Look, in this business, we come across so many realtors, so many lenders, so many title reps. Literally all of those are a dime a dozen. And we come across and we interact with and do business with so many of them. And I remember leaving that closing of, closing is a big deal for buyers, obviously. And there's a lot of information. There's a huge stack of paperwork and you rely on this title rep and this lender to go through this stuff with you. And I've seen it 1,000 times, but I remember leaving it and I was like, that guy knows his stuff. He's communicating in a way that was effective. It made sense. It was plain language when some of that stuff is super complicated. And anyway, kudos to you because that was part of the reason why I think either I reached out to you or vice versa, but not everyone does it like that. So well done.
Thanks. Yeah. Just trying to bring the walls down.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to because people get nervous about financing and talking about
100%.
All this stuff.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. So translating it to layman's terms, making it feel more like you're on the streets, just talking to a friend. It's good. It's good. But you want to convey the severity of it, like some of what I'm communicating as part of those contracts is like, hey, look, like this is like the extremes of what you're agreeing to. Just know that these are extremes, but just make your payments.
Yeah.
Make your mortgage payments and none of this has to happen. Like that's it. And everyone knows that already. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You just break it down like that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't think we've gotten a chance, or we probably did get a chance to talk about this, but this is a stage where you can kind of tell people like how you got into this industry, what keeps you going in it, what gets you going in the morning.
Well, I mean, real estate, we're going into year 8 in real estate.
Cool.
Very fortunate to have the people around me in terms of my team, in terms of where I started. When I first got into real estate, I was living in Philly. I was right in like Fairmount area. And I knew I wanted to get into real estate. I was thinking I was going to do real estate in the city. So I interviewed with a team in the city. And then I just, as most people do before they get into the industry, they reach out to people that they know. Like, as you said before, everyone's got an aunt in real estate. I literally have an aunt in real estate. I reached out to a lot of people and I knew, my partner, Brad Moore from college, reached out, saw what he was doing, big things. And just to pick his brain on it. And he, we finished that conversation by him saying, well, you ever want to come out, Westchester area? We'd love to chat with you more, potentially maybe have you on the team and so forth. Didn't really think about it that much. And then 2-3 days later, I kept like stewing on this of, man, maybe I might want to go back out that way. Someone who's established. So long story short, called Brad back like 3 days ago. Best decision, best phone call I ever made. Rest has been history since. So, we've been on this team now for, again, 7, almost 8 years. We've really built a phenomenal business that gives people a phenomenal experience. And I couldn't be happier to be a part of it. So, anyway, in terms of like how we got started, that was it. We've been hitting the ground running ever since. Luckily, every year has snowballed on top of the year before it.
Nice.
And man, we keep rocking and rolling. So it's been great.
Love it. Good.
Yeah, it's been real great.
What's the motivator for you, like every day? Like, is there something where you're like striving for? Like, do you have a goal every day, or is it not that specific?
And my wife will tell you this too. I am my own motivator. Like, I motivate myself. Now that I have a child, I have a 2.5-year-old daughter. I have another one coming in 3 weeks.
Amazing.
Obviously, my wife. Yeah.
Holy crap! Didn't know that. Congratulations.
Like, hopefully we get the podcast in time.
Yeah.
Wow. So we got another one coming here shortly, March 6th.
Amazing.
But a lot of people, I think, will answer that question by, my kids, my wife, and they do. They motivate me to be a better human being. They motivate me to be a better father, a better person, a better husband, a better friend. But from a business perspective, my real estate perspective, or investing and things like that, I put it on myself to motivate myself every day, light a fire, and, whether it's making the calls, having the difficult conversations, whatever it might be, putting in a lot of reps to just make sure that I'm doing things at a really high level,
Yeah.
So short answer is try to motivate myself, stay disciplined. You know what I mean?
Comes from within.
Business, whether that's health, wellness, whatever it might be. So, yeah, man.
I know it because we've talked about health and running and just fitness in general. Mm-hmm. I see the way you work. Mm-hmm. It's across all disciplines, which is great. And you're a new landlord, which is cool.
For the most part, yeah.
How's that going?
That was a journey. That was cool. I wouldn't say I'm a new landlord. So the first property we bought, my wife and I, was a duplex. Mm-hmm. So we knew we wanted to get into real estate investing somehow. I do this every day. I'm very familiar with it. I'm comfortable with it for the most part. But when you're buying it yourself, you always kind of like second guess yourself sometimes. I've had, again, a great team around me that has helped to, push each other instead of getting stuck in that kind of paralysis by analysis phase, which I think a lot of people do when they go and they start spending their own money on X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I had a great support system around me, and obviously my wife, who was open to the idea of buying a property with a tenant, living above us as our first home. But anyway, we were an investor when we bought the house. The house came with the tenant, which I don't always recommend, but in this scenario, it was a really good situation. We lived there for, 3 years. Tenant is still there to this day. He's phenomenal.
Amazing.
And we learned a lot along the way. And then we just recently, bought last year our next house. We still have the duplex. Now we rent out both units,
right.
And we're in a bigger home that accommodates our family. So it's all good things.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been fun.
Climbing the ladder, baby.
It's been fun.
It's great.
Well, you're working on something now too, right? You're doing some renovations on a property from what I've seen.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
So my strategy so far has been single unit properties. They're just like essentially they're twins. All of them have been twins.
Yeah.
So it's like one half of a whole building, but it's its own unit. So each one has been a little different, but this one I'm using a renovation loan on.
Okay.
So it was abandoned and foreclosed on. I'm like right on the Schuylkill River. So it's so it got flooded in like 2021.
Yep.
So
a bunch of properties got flooded around the Schuylkill at that time.
Crazy.
We had clients reach out to us at that time too. They're like, hey, my home just got literally flooded through the living room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Similar situation.
Yeah. Nutty. So on our street, the water line had come up into the first floor. So like entire basements were completely full and it was into the first floor.
That's crazy.
Yeah, nuts. I couldn't imagine what that was like. I obviously came in after that fact.
Yeah.
But the place needed to be completely gutted. All the systems needed to be replaced, electric, plumbing, sewer, like everything.
That's a job, man.
Yeah, other than the walls and the roof, like furnace, everything.
So this is interesting because we get people who are very interested in renovation loans.
Yeah.
Because they read something online or they talk to a friend who is like a pro investor and has used them. But can you talk me through, I guess, a little bit of like a renovation loan and what I guess that means for some people who might qualify for a renovation loan? Do you need to have experience in doing flips and stuff like that to qualify for one? Or I think that's probably a good point for some people that are interested in it.
100%. Yeah. Making it more accessible for folks because it can be daunting because there's an added step to it. You're sourcing a general contractor or contractor of some kind. You're talking through with them what you want to do to the house and making sure that the bank's okay with it.
Yeah.
So that is part of it all. But the simple structure of it is that you can put 5% down. There's no assistance products or anything, but you can be a first timer. You don't need any experience at all. You just need to have the money to pay 5% of the total project. So not just the purchase price, but also the money that's being put into the overall
renovation
house. And the renovation. Plus the closing costs, obviously. And it's great. It's like a conventional loan, there's PMI on it unless you put 20% down. And the rates are a little bit higher than you would get on the normal market. But that part of it is really simple. And the harder part of it is to find a contractor that you trust, who's going to be communicative and someone who is at least willing to work with the bank and provide the documentation.
Sure.
Some contractors are not used to that. So it's just more admin paperwork type stuff. But my guy had a relationship with Cross Country Mortgage, the bank I represent. So when I pulled him in, he was already like, all right, we need XYZ, this doesn't pass. We got to do this, getting ahead of things before I had to experience them has been great. And it's been super smooth, checkpoints at every stop, distribution of the money once the checkpoint's satisfied. And it's been good. I'm hoping to finish within the next 3 weeks to a month and get my butt in there because it's been a waiting game.
Yeah. Dude, that's exciting.
Yeah.
There's so many different avenues in real estate. And I think that's what's really exciting about it too, is you can go so many different directions in terms of, whether you're on the sales side of things, whether it's on the investing side of things, whether it's on growing a team or the mortgage side, the title side. I think that's one of the really exciting things about just real estate in general, is there's so many different avenues to be successful or to, capture your interest, whatever it might be. So that's really exciting stuff, man.
Yeah, thank you. And again, reiterating to bring the walls down, you can be a first timer doing this, 5% down. And you just have to be open to it. For me, it was really cool that I didn't have to compete on the normal market.
Yeah.
If you have a vision for a house, if it's really beat up, it depends. Sometimes there are investors that are going to try to snatch it up, but in my case, people really didn't want it.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
For sure.
So if you've got a vision for a house, you can create that as long as the value is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're going to turn it into something that someone will value, something that people will want,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's going to be a primary residence for me for now.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Similar. It's kind of like a house hack,
Yeah.
Buying it, doing the renovations, you're going to move into it, refi, whatever you decide you want to do down the road. Not that different from what we ended up doing, in terms of living into a property, fixing it up as we were there. We didn't gut it to the walls or anything like that. Did some renovations while we were there as well. Moved out, rented it, rock and roll.
Yeah. That's the move.
Yeah.
It takes patience, the plan, but it's not going to happen quickly. So you kind of just have to trust that you're doing the right things.
Yeah.
And just let time do its thing.
Huh?
Yeah. That's been the hardest part. It's
And
like,
you're obviously going to hit speed bumps along the way too.
of course, man. Like projects on the house that you didn't expect. Like I didn't expect to have to replace the sewer line.
No,
That sucked.
Dude, I did the same thing.
That sucked.
It was 10 grand.
What's 10 grand? It's crazy, man.
Yeah, no, I know. It is. It's wild. But again, it's all part of the process. You know, you get excited about obviously not doing unexpected repairs and things like that. But man, you learn so much as you go too. And it helps you in your day-to-day business too.
Yes.
You know, whether you're on your end or mine.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, just getting those different experiences. You can talk to more things with more people because everyone's trying to do something different out here.
100%.
Yeah. No, it's been great. All right. I want to get into a rapid fire round real quick.
All right.
Let's do this. So I don't know if you had a chance to check these over. I kind of almost like the
I glanced at
surprise.
them.
Okay. All right. So tell me how you feel about this stuff, right?
Okay.
So on investment properties,
Yep.
cash flow or appreciation?
Both. Hey, can I have both?
Duh. If you had to pick.
Yeah, no, it all depends, right? I have investor clients who just strictly want the cash flow, you know, and they'll cash flow $1,000 a month on some of these things. I have other clients that are just like, you know, just get me in this area because I know it's going to appreciate over time. If it's me, I guess if I have to choose one, I certainly don't want to be like underwater on the monthly payment in terms of, you know, but if you're buying in a good area, I mean, the number one rule of real estate, man, it's location and appreciation just over time. If you plan to buy and hold it, you know, for an extended period of time, I would go the route of appreciation over, you know, a significant amount of cash flow if I had to choose one.
That's what I see a lot of seasoned investors say is appreciation.
Yeah. Just buy real estate in good areas. Over time, historically, you'll be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. All right, great. Put money into your house or put money into the market?
Oh, that's a good one.
Stock market.
That's a good one. Oh man, again, I guess it all depends on the person, right? These are such like blanket questions, but there's never a blanket answer that's gonna.
I know.
You know? If it's me, I'm gonna put money into the market long term. I think, and there's so many different opinions on this. You know, you go the route of like, oh, your house is not an asset. Everyone's like, oh no, your house is like the biggest asset you'll have. There's so many different avenues there, but yeah, again, I think of my house as something that isn't making me money over the long term. Do I want it to be the way I want it to be from an interior design perspective, from a functionality perspective? 100%. But I don't want to rely on that as a source of income in the future. Investment property is a different story, which is why we have one. But no, I would put it in the market.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think real estate's a good diversification of it.
100%.
Yeah. If you have the luxury of doing so, it can be very capital intensive.
Yeah.
But it's
time.
a good place to park money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least to start, you know, and then in the future, you know, we've got the duplex there, you know, we flip that over into, you know, a quad. We flip that over in the future to a 16, maybe a larger apartment building. You know, you could build from that as well too. But yeah, as far as the primary home, I don't necessarily see that as something that's making me money. In fact, I view it as quite the opposite.
It can be a money suck.
Well, I mean, your mortgage, your housing expense is your largest expense, most people's largest expense every single month. You know, that's not putting money in your pocket, it's doing the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts. Okay. Hottest neighborhoods in the area.
Oh man, where do you start? I mean, look, if we're talking like Chester County, these haven't changed much over the years. Like you can say hottest, like, oh, this is like up and coming, but like the areas that we live in and around have always been attractive, and they've always been attractive for the same reasons, right? Like if we're in Chester County, like Berwyn and Devon and Westchester and Phoenixville and Chester Springs, like those have always been attractive places to live. And they likely always will be too. You know, if we're in Delaware County, you know, it's going to be Newtown Square. It's going to be Media. You know, it's going to be parts of Wayne. You know, the main line where Delaware County meets Montgomery County. So again, you got to figure out where you want to live. And if it's more a question of like, hey, we could live anywhere. Sure. Those are some of the spots I'd pick.
Yeah.
Depending on your price point, of course.
Of course. Yeah, for real. Yeah. That's why I'm in Phoenixville.
Yeah. Phoenixville's great.
It's been on the come up.
Think about I didn't grow up in Phoenixville, but I talked to so many people that were there, 25 years ago, 30 years ago. Like, Dom, you couldn't walk down the other side of Bridge Street. Like you didn't want to go down that way, and even, when you get into the dynamics of Phoenixville, you're kind of split, at least in the borough there on the north side and the south side there. Even on the north side, like stuff like that is turning over so quickly. All that new construction. I was just out in Steel Point, last week looking at stuff. It's just, man, you got $700,000 townhomes now along the river there. Yeah. And that downtown is so cool. There's only so many towns in the suburbs of Philadelphia, the western suburbs of Philadelphia, that have a really attractive kind of downtown area with those boutique shops, restaurants, things like, the Phoenixvilles, the Westchesters, the Medias, the Ardmores, the Amblers, each town kind of has its own little center, but some of these towns have been incredibly attractive because all these people are moving out of the city and into the suburbs, but they still want some of these things to do. So Phoenixville's a great spot, man. Yeah. Great spot.
Totally. And that's kind of like something I keep in mind is where can I just walk out my door and grab a beer?
Yeah, 100%.
That's been my
priorities.
Yeah, I guess priorities. But like that's important to me because when what comes with that is good energy, like good community. People want to be out and about there. Hopefully safety, like they feel comfortable being out and about there.
Of course.
Good restaurants. So it all comes from that.
Yeah.
Where can I go get a Guinness?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I like Guinness.
Yeah. Twist my arm for a Guinness. You don't have to. All right, cool. What's next? Home feature that you've seen really pick up a trend right now.
Home features.
Yeah. Something you're seeing out there.
If it's like an interior design perspective, I mean, we see a lot of like color drenching now. We see a lot of like layering of fabrics and curtains and rugs and couches. We see a lot of like metals, brasses, warm golds, things like that. From like an interior design perspective, it's funny how that stuff changes. Also a little more like earthy tones. We very much shift away from, thank God, the white and grays of the world.
Yeah.
But from like a home maintenance, I guess you'd say maybe more perspective, a lot of energy efficient mechanicals, HVAC systems, new hot water heaters, things like that, or tankless hot water heaters.
Okay.
It just depends. But we've seen a lot of smart home features and things like that each house seems to have more and more of, or at least buyers are installing because they want that kind of integration of efficiency and technology in their home.
Yeah.
It makes things easier. They're just doing all this stuff from their phone,
Right.
Which, we do too, but
it's too easy. You forget to lock the door. So like, oh, no problem. Bing.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously safety is a big one too.
Yeah.
Almost every house is like a Ring camera now, which is great, but we see a lot of stuff like that. At least in the past, 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's so cheap now too. You can buy a Ring camera on Amazon for like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
$50.
Yeah. It's not expensive.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Do you have a home feature that you think is overplayed?
Oh yeah. This is just my personal opinion, right? This
is all about you. Yeah.
This might make some people mad. Overplayed. Yeah. I mean, we still go into homes every single day because I'm in a dozen to 2 dozen homes every single week. So I see it all. The white and the grays obviously are out, specifically the gray floors. It's very sterile. It's very kind of lifeless. It feels like you're in like a commercial building or something like that.
Right.
But people still feel like it's 2016. We see a lot of word art still. The live, love, laughs of the
home. Oh, man.
Home is where the heart. I still see a lot of that stuff. And again, if you have that in your home, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But and that's a quick change too, obviously. Like you could change that very easily. But
yeah, that's easy.
That stuff's out.
Yeah.
It's out.
That's been out.
You'd be surprised, DJ.
Yeah, that's true. That's funny. I gifted my cousin at it was like an engagement party, or it was I think it was an engagement party. I gifted him a live, laugh, love sign. And he was like, what do you think I'm going to do with this? It's like, I don't know, but cherish it forever.
Always remember.
Yeah. Never forget. Enjoy every day.
That's good.
Yeah. And then, okay. I like this one. So in one sentence, if you can, what would you tell your younger self to try to set him up for success?
Oh,
I know this one is not really industry.
Oh, I would tell.
You can make this as deep as you want.
I would tell my 13-year-old self to go buy a single family home in Berwyn, dude.
Yeah.
Go buy real estate when you were in middle school. Why didn't you do that?
Yeah.
No,
stop buying packs of gum and start buying a house.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's a really good question. You know what? I was talking to my wife about this not long ago too. I really don't tend to reflect a lot on the past in terms of things I would have done differently or things I would have changed. I don't like to reflect on those things that much, mainly because they probably wouldn't have made me who I am today in terms of mistakes I've made in the past, in terms of things that have happened, good, bad, whatever it might be. I just always have felt that every year of my life has been better than the year before it. So I just want to continue on that trajectory. And it's more just a vision of, forward thinking as opposed to maybe more reflective thinking. It's like you could go back and just say, oh, I wish I didn't do this, or I wish I would have started in this business earlier. But then, I wouldn't have had those crappy jobs beforehand that made me want to get in and determine that, hey, this is what you want to do, or I should say, maybe when I was in those jobs, what I didn't want to do. Oftentimes you figure that out. Same thing with a relationship. You don't realize maybe what you want until you're in something that you don't want. That's how I kind of really felt about in terms of my job. So again, I'm not super, not to dodge your question. I just I don't really think back on stuff like that too much because I'm always trying to move forward.
I think what you just said in itself is the piece of advice. Is just get out there and experience.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to really feel what that's like for you and whether you like it or not, and unless you just get out there and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to try, you got to just get out of your comfort zone sometimes and really experience, again, whether that's going into a new job, whether that is leaving a relationship, whether that is whatever that might be, you have to experience that stuff, I think, firsthand to really figure out, at least for me, what I didn't want, to figure out what I did want and what was important to me and what I wanted to shape my life, my career, around. So, not to say that things are perfect. Things are always changing. You're always learning. You're always, growing as well too. But I think that's important.
Yeah.
To do.
I agree. I think there's levels to self-reflection that are healthy levels and then unhealthy levels. The forward-thinking mindset is the way to be, in my opinion.
But I think self-reflection is good in certain instances. When we get to the new year time, reflecting back on the year, reflecting back on the accomplishments, reflecting back on a lot of the good things, the positive things, is something that, started doing, not too long ago, maybe a few years ago, because sometimes you also forget how far you've come, whether it's tough times that you've made it through, whether it's just great accomplishments that you've had. Sometimes you do get stuck thinking forward and thinking more and thinking bigger, when sometimes it's nice to be able to reflect back on the positive things that have happened and what the past years brought, the past 5 years have brought. A lot of people, I don't think, reflect on that stuff too much. So from a mentality or a self-reflection journey, I think that's important too.
I agree.
I like stuff like that.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
So we're low on time. I want to make sure we're touching on anything that you want to as well.
I have a question for you.
Hit me.
I get this question a lot, and I could tell you how I'd answer it, but I'm curious how you are.
Okay.
Because it's always buyers too, or just home sellers in general. They're like, okay, Dom, what do you think is going to happen this year with rates? What do you think is going to happen in the market? Break out your crystal ball, if you will. And that's how I always start. I'm always like, guys, I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm curious what you think the 2026, obviously we're already in February, but what do you think the year is going to look like from a housing perspective, whether it be inventory, whether it be mortgage rates? I know that's more your wheelhouse, but what are your general thoughts on the year? And if, you had to put us in, 12 months from now, what do you think happens?
Yeah. Well, I will say that so far this year has been the busiest winter that I've ever had.
Yeah.
Which I'm really happy about.
Yeah.
So I think more than ever, people are getting used to where the costs are. And this is going to be a gradual thing. Like people are going to slowly start to catch up to where the costs are of everything. Cost of living is really high. It sucks. We all know this. But over time, the average trend will be that, people are accepting that the rates are going to be at about where they are. Hopefully your employer's paying you a little bit more money. And if they're not, ask for it. And life events are going to happen. You know this, like growing family, graduations, all kinds of events that are going to kind of force you to be like, hey, look, it's time. I need to buy a house, or I need to upsize or whatever. So I think that's all going to be healthy pushes within our market. As for the interest rates, they've kind of come down a decent bit. And I don't really think they're going to come down that much more. That's my analysis here, is, I look at the Fed chair nomination. He's a little hawkish, right? He's very data driven. I don't think he's going to be a puppet. So like, will he bring rates down? Probably, if it really makes sense with the data that's coming out. We've already seen a nice decrease in rates. So I've been doing refinances for people.
I just made a video about when to refinance for people that bought a house in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
I know we helped a lot of people buy with 7%.
Yes.
Above 7%, 6.9. We're a full point under that right now.
Yeah, exactly. So it definitely makes sense to refi and take advantage of where the market is. Or if you're a first buyer getting into the market, these rates are good, and historically good. So yeah, I think it's a healthy market right now. I understand that affordability can be an issue for some, and we'll do everything we can to try to bridge that gap.
Yeah.
But I foresee a pretty darn healthy market this year.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And we've seen it already. I think just buyers getting used to the environment of interest rates, getting used to the environment of where prices are in general. I think when change happens, a lot of people hit the pause button. They sit on the sidelines a little bit, but we've had this consistent, environment in the real estate world for a good bit of time now. And I think some people are starting to realize, okay, let's take a stab at it. So yeah, we'll see what the year brings, but hopefully a lot more of that.
Yeah. And like, I say this every day. It's never too early to have these conversations with your real estate professionals, like just to get a feel for where you're at. If we run the numbers and tell you your options and it doesn't make sense, that's fine.
Yeah.
But we can still keep everything on file and be ready to rock when you are, whether that's today or next year or whatever.
Yep.
So you might as well try it, see how it goes.
100%.
It doesn't cost you a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's different for everyone. Everyone's got different timing, life events, things like that, finances. But that's always the first step, right? Reach out, go through the pre-approval process, make sure you're ready to rock and roll. I always tell people buying a home, the financial aspect of it is by far the most important part. You need clarity on that before you can make an informed decision, right? So, that's the very first step. And then from there, that's the fun part, Right. Then you're not house shopping with me, that's we try to make it as fun as we can,
Totally.
It is fun. It's an exciting time for a lot of people, whether it's your first home, whether it's your step-up home, whether it's your dream home, whatever that might be. It is a really fun process. And when, you have everything figured out from a financial perspective, a relative timing perspective, it just makes that process a lot more exciting and a lot less daunting. So, yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, that's great. What else, if anything?
That was my big one for you.
That's a
I always
great
like
one.
to just pick people's brains on what they think.
Yeah, I'm super optimistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As am I. Look, we're very fortunate to also live and work in an area that is not only very attractive to a lot of people in terms of the geography of where we live, the school districts and all of that good stuff too, but also very fortunate in the fact that, people do pretty well around here as well too. So, it's just one of those things that we're just very fortunate for a lot of our clients and the people that we work with. And then just always just trying to provide them a great experience as well too. So, now it's an exciting time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. All right, cool. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to have you back on.
Yeah, would love to.
That flew.
That did go really fast.
It went fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see this thing hit the ground running and grow and grow and grow your podcast. I mean,
yeah. Thanks.
And I would love to get back on and dive even deeper. And yeah, man, excited for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Glad to be here.
Thanks for being here.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. See you next time. Thank you. Peace.